What's up, everyone, and welcome to another Bitcoin market update. In these videos, you will learn how to use technical analysis to forecast price movements in your favorite cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and others, and also see where we are looking to buy and sell these crypto assets ourselves. So let's get into it here with Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. I apologize for the later video, as today has just been a very hectic day for me personally. So let's get into it here with the analysis so we can help you guys better figure out how to analyze the price action for your favorite cryptocurrencies. So we're looking at this price action right here. Now, you can see we had this pretty significant bear move right here with a lot of liquidations on the way down. We subsequently bounced right here with a longer lower wick. You can see people were buying the dip. We had a little bounce here off of this light blue zone, and now you see that we're having this bearish, the beginning of this bearish candlestick right here with a sell-off, with people pricing in the lower high being set. Now, the lower high could indeed be set here, where you can see we've already appreciated about 42% off of the low here at 29,000. So it's already pretty significant in terms of a bounce. So it is potentially, we are potentially seeing the top here in terms of this short-term run. And now the bulls will potentially need to come down, form a higher low somewhere above this one here, and then try and come up and form a higher high. Now, the lower we go in this weekly candle, the more likely it is that the bulls are not going to be able to hold for a higher low, because we'll be closer and closer to making a lower low as we approach this low here from May 17th. So that's something to keep in mind when you're analyzing the price action for different assets. You want to kind of look at the magnitude of the different moves. So you can see this one's pretty significant, so it's very unlikely we're going to come up and form a higher high above this one on the first go. So it's more likely that when we go up, we're looking to set a lower high. So that's a short opportunity or a top fishing play for where we're looking to go short. So you can see people are already going short here. They kind of price that in. If we look at this from a daily perspective, people said, okay, I'm going to go short right above this key high right here. So this could be what we consider to be a liquidity run. So a liquidity run is where you go above a key high or low, and you wick below that or above that, and then you close back below it, and then you go the other direction. So this is where we're triggering stop losses above this high right here when we go above it, and then subsequently we have the ammo to go down. So the bullish case here for Bitcoin is this is an inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. So that could end up being the case. And we are seeing actually some decreasing bear volume here over the last 2 days. You can see that right there with these two volume candlesticks, which is good news for the bulls, because that means that the sell volume is waning, meaning the bears are getting exhausted. There's less sellers. There were less sellers in this move than there was on this move right here. So that's good news for the bulls to see a potential for a bounce here. We'll see what we end up getting. This light blue zone is our main support zone right now. Closing back below this gray zone is not a good sign for the bulls, though. We'll have to see another close back inside of it to make sure that this doesn't turn into resistance. So right now, when you see the trend change here, you're looking for that support zone. Right here is we're in that support zone. If we don't start to bounce off of this zone, and instead we go right through this zone and we close 2 candles below this zone and then come up and test it, this is where I'm going to go short with my stop loss above and then target, new lows below the 29,000 level. And the reason for that is because the momentum is still down. If we look at things like the Super Guppy, which we talked about over the past several days, we said that when we see the Super Guppy expand like this, like we see right here with the expansion in these EMAs, the first test of it, which is what we just saw right here, is usually a very significant move off of that level. And you can see when we came up right here, we get pretty deep into it, and then you see the retreat off of that is pretty significant as well, with about a 16% decline over the course of about 4 days. So pretty significant decline here over the last few days, but not really unexpected if you're watching these videos. As you can see, we talked about this for several days on this indicator. So let's go down to the lower time frames and look at what we're dealing with there. As we know, whenever we're looking for a potential bounce or potential drawdown, we're always looking for what the shorter term trends are telling us. And right now you can see that this trend is very clearly bearish, with the lower highs and lower lows being set on the way down. So as we go down, we are looking over here to see where's our horizontal resistance or support. So right now, we're currently kind of sitting on a zone where our main support zone is actually from back here on this candlestick, where you can see that this held the support here many times before we finally drew below it here. This is going to be the zone that we're kind of looking to bounce off of. In terms of resistance, this candlestick back here from this move is going to be the main resistance zone. And the reason for that is just because of the trend change here. So when we see the trend change like this last candle where people were buying before the drawdown should be where they're selling once they see that we're in an actual bear trend right here on a retest right here. But you can see we don't actually get that, and we push right through this zone. So now when we come back to this zone right here, you can see that this offered a little bit of a bounce here before we pushed through this. So now when we go back and test this zone, this will be the resistance zone to watch, which is up at about 36,800. Aside from that, if we put on our pivots indicator, we can see that the pivot indicator right here is providing some potential for resistance around 36,500. So this is where we're going to be looking for resistance as well. We did not really have a reaction to it right here, so we might not get a reaction on the way up as well. We'll see. But right now, the main levels to watch are the blue zone that we're currently operating in. We need to see a bounce from that zone. Otherwise, the bears will regain control with 2 candle closes below that zone, as that will turn into a resistance zone for price. So when we're looking at the price action for Bitcoin, it's important to always keep in mind that we're zooming out and we're looking at the high time frames to see what is the price action telling us in terms of the market cycles. Now, the market cycles are the way that markets work. Every time there's a big move, like you see right here, there is going to be the other side of that market, which is going to be the bear move, because markets don't just go up forever infinitively. They need to have retracements every now and then, and that's what we're seeing right here. So if you look at even an indicator like the Ichimoku cloud, we were pretty overbought here with floating above both the Tenkan and the Kijun. So a return to the Kijun was pretty organic and natural here. It wasn't very surprising in terms of this indicator, because eventually you're going to touch this red line, and we hadn't touched it for quite some time. I mean, this is the weekly chart, so it takes a while for these candles to print. So we hadn't touched this since back here in July, so it's been quite some time. So it's important when you're in a bull market like we were here to realize that the other side of that is a bear market. So a bear market is when the prices are consistently trending downwards. So the momentum has shifted on trend following indicators like Ichimoku Cloud and Super Guppy and things like that on the lower time frames, maybe below the weekly in this case for Bitcoin, to tell us that the price's momentum is down now. And so the trading opportunities shift from buying opportunities to selling opportunities to be the more profitable entries. So that's what you can look for. And when you're thinking about market cycles and if you're just getting involved in the crypto economy, it's just important to recognize that market cycles shift. And so when you are in a bull market, it seems very euphoric and it seems like it's just going to keep going up forever. But eventually it isn't. And so you can see right here we had a pretty bearish candlestick. Subsequently after that, we come up, form a lower high, and then we break down for a lower low. So the momentum right now on the weekly time frame is to the downside. Although we have the support zone, it is still to the downside. So we had the bounce here, which was warranted because it's the first test of this zone. But after you get that first test, this zone is no longer going to be as strong. So it's important to keep in mind that we may just continue to go down for Bitcoin and these other cryptocurrencies in the medium to longer term until we can kind of shake people out of their positions and kind of return to what the market thinks is a fair market value for Bitcoin. So when you think about market cycles, just remember that there are other sides of bull markets. So although we've had this crazy run up, you can see that we went down just as fast as we went up right here. So, right here, we went up pretty fast over the course of 3 weeks. We could easily, over the course of 3 weeks, go down to this light blue level down here at about 19,500. Same thing goes with the price action that we see here. So just keep that in mind because you can make just as much money on the bear side of the market as you can on the bull. So if you liked this whole run up, you can benefit from this whole drawdown as well if we keep going down. So just keep that in mind. I hope that was helpful for you. If you like this video, give it a like down below and subscribe for future educational content around cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And check out our beginner tactical analysis course if you like this sort of content that you see in these videos, as it'll teach you the foundational elements that you need to get started generating consistent income for yourself, trading and investing in crypto assets like Bitcoin and others. All right, until tomorrow, onward and upward.